All right, welcome. Today, we're going to try and connect the dots on what has been a truly whirlwind day in India. We're looking at everything from high-stakes diplomatic tours to courtroom dramas and a political battlefield that is really heating up. So let's just dive right in. What we're going to do is look at a bunch of events that, on the surface, seem totally separate, right? You've got international summits, you've got court rulings at home, but when you put them all together, they paint this really vivid picture of a country that's navigating some massive changes, both at home and on the world stage. So we've broken it down into three main parts for you. First up, we'll look at India's big balancing act on the world stage. Then, we'll shift focus to some major new rules and realities back home. And finally, we'll get right into the thick of it, the political battles happening on the ground. Okay, so first up, India on the world stage. This isn't just about handshakes and photo ops. It is a really complex game of chess, and the stakes, they are incredibly high. Just look at the Prime Minister's schedule. This is what you'd call a diplomatic sprint. We're talking back-to-back summits. He's in Tokyo one day, and then boom, he's off to Tianjin the next. This isn't just a busy calendar, you guys. It's a very clear signal about India's strategy. They're strengthening those really important one-on-one relationships, like with Japan, while at the same time, they're engaging with these bigger, more complicated groups like the SCO. And this, right here, this is the perfect illustration of the diplomatic tightrope India is walking. I mean, think about it. On one side, you've got them actively building these partnerships across Asia, but at the exact same time, they're dealing with some serious friction with the United States. And what's it about? It's largely about India's continued energy trade with Russia. Yeah. And that friction, it's not just a war of words. It's real, it's tangible, and it has a number, 25%. That's the new tariff the Trump administration has just slapped on a whole range of Indian imports. Make no mistake, this is a direct shot across the bow, a direct response to that energy trade with Russia. It's a very, very clear signal from Washington. Okay, so while all that jockeying is happening on the world stage, let's bring it back home. Because at the same time, the government is making some really bold, pretty transformative moves. We're going to look at two huge policy shifts that are about to impact millions of people and, in one case, a multi-billion rupee industry. First up, a brand new bill is taking aim at India's absolutely massive online gaming industry. And when I say massive, I mean it. We're talking about an 8 billion rupees sector that has just been put on serious notice by the government. So here's the absolute game changer. For the longest time, there was this really important legal line between a game of skill, think rummy, and a game of chance, pure gambling. Well, this new bill comes in and just erases that line. It completely collapses that distinction. And the result? It effectively bans all online games that involve real money. This just completely upends the entire industry's business model overnight. Now, at the very same time that the government is rewriting the rules for a huge industry, you have the Supreme Court stepping in to protect a really fundamental right for citizens. Our focus here shifts to the state of Bihar, where some major issues with the voter list have actually prompted the highest court in the land to intervene. And wow, the court did not hold back. They basically said they were surprised by the inaction of political parties. That's court speak for, why aren't you guys doing anything? They were essentially calling them out for not helping citizens whose names had just vanished from the voter rolls. So what was the court solution? It was simple, direct, and totally focused on the voter. They set up an easy claims process. You can use your Aadhaar card or one of 11 other documents, so it's accessible. But, the most pointed part of this whole ruling was the court looking directly at the political parties and saying, get off the sidelines. It's your job to actively help people get their right to vote back. That's a huge statement. All right, for our final section, let's zoom in even closer. We're getting down to the ground-level political drama. This is where alliances get tested, loyalties are thrown into question, and the accusations, well, they start flying fast and thick. So we're back in Bihar, and talk about drama. Tensions just exploded when two MLAs from the opposition RJD party, that's the Rashtriya Janata Dal, were spotted at a rally for the Prime Minister. In politics, that's a huge deal. It was seen as a major betrayal, and their party's reaction was swift and decisive. They expelled both of them on the spot. Meanwhile, on the national stage, the rhetoric is just getting dialed up to 11. You have the Union Home Minister, Amit Shah, accusing the opposition's candidate for vice president of supporting Naxalism. Now, that is an incredibly serious charge in India. It refers to far-left armed insurgent groups. It's a political move clearly designed to paint the opposition as being soft on national security. Okay, now let's head south to Tamil Nadu because something really interesting is happening there. The entire political landscape is being shaken up, and it's not by a seasoned politician. Nope, it's by one of the biggest movie stars in the entire country. And here's the conflict that's brewing. The actor-turned-politician Vijay has launched his own party, the TVK, and he's made a huge declaration. He's going it alone, no alliances. I mean, that is a massive challenge to the way things have always been done there. And as you can imagine, it has already drawn a ton of fire from all the established political players in the state. And Vijay's response to all that criticism, it was simple, it was defiant, and it was powerful. He just said, "A lion is always a lion." That one line sends a crystal clear message, right? He's signaling his intention to completely disrupt the state's traditional political scene as he gears up for the 2026 assembly polls. So when you take a step back and you look at all these different pieces moving on the chessboard at the same time, you've got the global diplomacy, you've got these sweeping new policies at home, and then you have these intense local power plays, it really leaves us with a critical question. As you watch all this unfold, I want you to think about it. Which of these forces do you think will ultimately define India's path forward? Is it the handshakes on the world stage, the new rules being written at home, or the political battles being fought on the ground?